Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, December 4th, 2021. For Saturday, this is early morning and 4 o'clock 4 a.m. 4 a.m. मैं सूरज सिंह भारत से बोल रहा हूँ, भारत इंडिया से। आज तारीख दिनांक दिसंबर 4 2021 सुबह के 4:05। थोड़ी देर हो गई। Our topic is Civil Field Engineering, Engineers Quality and Contracts, Red, Silver, White, Designs, Construction, Methods, Disputes, Contract Disputes, Organizations, Communication, Coordination, and likewise considering quality and safety, first requirement, and of course various other interconnected topics along with sharing certifications like this, competency certificates. These are all competency certificates which are required in profession to ensure people and to have quality, and of course to share with you conditions of contract, and of course just to share whatever we can to have people, you can say, clear concept about what we are going to talk about, issue of quality, issue of engineering contracts, and issue of general talks, issue of something that we should know, and we know, of course we know, we cannot say we don't know, but even then this is my enginer@yahoo.co.uk. This is only ID from UK, but I am located in Bharat, India. For your information, this is by chance that, well, I am a civil engineer basically, you know it very well, and these are my credentials. My experiences, of course, I cannot show here everything. It's only for introduction. If you wish to write, if you want to raise some clarification or some question regarding engineering issues, contract issues, or likewise, if you wish so, or if you want to get some direction in construction or whatever else in quality, you can send to me a brief email and interact. Otherwise, it's your choice. I am doing my job. This is, of course, another certification which I explained to you before also. This is difficult certification at international level. This is International Professional Engineers India, which is international competency that person knows about international procedures, international systems. I'm not saying all countries' systems, but whatever is means engineering is uniform all over world. In writing, in documents, in education, it is uniform. We cannot say that it is not. इंजीनियरिंग ऐसा दुनिया है जो पूरे विश्व में एक ही है, सब्जेक्ट एक ही हैं, पढ़ाना एक ही है, बस फ़र्क इतना है कि स्टैंडर्ड्स लोग मानते हैं, कुछ नहीं मानते हैं। अपने अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं। हमारे भारत के अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स, इंग्लैंड के अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स, यूरोपियन कंट्रीज़ के अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स, अमेरिका के अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स। लेकिन जब हम इंटरकनेक्ट होते हैं तो सारे स्टैंडर्ड एक ही साथ चलते हैं, और वही प्रोफेशन है। प्रोफेशन इंजीनियरिंग का भारत में एक हो, इंग्लैंड में दूसरा हो, अमेरिका में तीसरा हो, ऐसा नहीं होता। जिस तरह से स्वास्थ्य का नहीं होता, हेल्थ का नहीं होता। एप्लीकेशन ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग remains same all over world. Yes, there can be some variations, local, or you can say depending on local situations, on environment. There can be something, but not certificates, because my purpose was to show them for information, and because we are talking of quality and contracts, because without contracts and quality are related, contracts and engineering too are related. Quality has no place if there is no work. Because we work, therefore, we are very serious on quality. I saw one advertisement on a bag of some organization. It was written in Hindi, of course, that गुणवत्ता आपकी पहचान गुणवत्ता है. Your identification is quality. This small statement requires clarification and confirmation and scrutiny, self-scrutiny or scrutiny by others. Are you really quality identified or you are only quantity identified? That has to be seen. Quantity can vary, but quality cannot be allowed to vary. Similarly, safety cannot be varied. Protection of workers is required. It is utmost. If we cannot do that, I think we do a sin. Safety is very significant part in our life, and without safety, there is no meaning to work. If we neglect safety and quality, this means we subject others to risk of life. Is that right? Do I have any right to push someone to accident, or do I have any right? Do I have some right to sell my product which is not good one? Yes, I can sell because of my name. Maybe I have trade name, I have international or national reputation. I may sell my product based on that. But when people experience my product, maybe next time they won't visit me and I won't be able to sell. And it's not quality alone. Quality is linked to price. Quality is linked to everything. What I'm talking engineering. Quality applies everywhere, and every product is a result of engineering. It may be manufacturing, it may be processing, it may be construction, or it may be whatever. If we can't care for actually deny ourselves something that we should not deny. Just like everywhere slogan is used, safety first. Everywhere it should also be used that quality must, and breach of contract is not allowed. That is very important point. Just like I said, no one has got any right to give undue pains to others. आपको अधिकार नहीं है आप किसी को बिना मतलब बिना किसी बात के दर्द दें. Similarly, no one has got any right to condemn quality requirements. आपको यह अधिकार नहीं है कि आप कभी भी गुणवत्ता को खराब करें. Because quality is also paid for when product is purchased. आप जिस कोई भी वस्तु खरीदते हैं उस वस्तु की कीमत में ही गुणवत्ता शामिल होती है, नहीं तो उस वस्तु का मतलब नहीं रह जाता. इसीलिए कहते हैं सुरक्षा है तो दर्द नहीं, सुरक्षा नहीं है तो दर्द ही दर्द. और यदि नो सेफ्टी नो पेन एंड नो सेफ्टी नो पेन, अगर आप क्वालिटी अब आप सेफ्टी को समझते हैं तो दर्द नहीं होगा, और आप सेफ्टी को नहीं समझते हैं तो दर्द होगा ही होगा. नो क्वालिटी नो पेन एंड नो क्वालिटी ओनली पेन. अगर आप गुणवत्ता को जानते हैं तो दर्द नहीं होगा. दर्द किस चीज़ का? सेफ्टी का नहीं, दुर्घटना का नहीं, क्वालिटी का, गुणवत्ता का. और अगर आप क्वालिटी अप्लाई करते हैं तो दूसरी तरह की खुशी मिलेगी और दर्द नहीं होगा. गुणवत्ता को हंसी मजाक में नहीं लिया जा सकता. Quality is not an objective or subjective of laughing or smiling or making fun, because quality is integrated in everyone. I have some quality, you have some quality, and we have to analytically identify that. हमको उसका विश्लेषण करके उसको जानना है कि क्वालिटी है क्या. अगर हम अपनी क्वालिटी नहीं जानते, इफ आई डू नॉट नो माई, everybody has to know itself, what you are, what is your value. Value not in terms of money, value in terms of your character, in terms of your own evaluation of your standards. You know, there is always difference among people in capability, and that is where, you know, scale is raised up to what mark you are there. Just like in examination, there are various grades of results. Same way, everybody has different capacity. हर एक की क्षमता अलग होती है, लेकिन क्षमता सब में होती है. एक निशान फिक्स किया जाता है कि इससे नीचे आपकी क्षमता नहीं होनी चाहिए. इसको हम कहते हैं एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया. अगर उससे ऊपर आप हैं तो आपको हम उस सीक्वेंस में कंसिडर करेंगे. गुणवत्ता किसके हाथ में है? गुणवत्ता आपके हाथ में है. क्वालिटी हवा में नहीं आती है. क्वालिटी काम करने से आती है, और सही काम करने से आती है, नियम के हिसाब से काम करने से आती है. एक व्यक्ति की क्वालिटी देखी जानी बहुत आवश्यक है. एवरी पर्सन हैज सम क्वालिटी एंड दैट शुड बी वॉच्ड, ऑब्जर्व्ड एंड आइडेंटिफाइड. बहुत सी क्वालिटी होती है लाइफ में. जी, ये आदमी रेगुलर है, वी से दिस पर्सन इज रेगुलर. दिस पर्सन कम्स इन टाइम, इज पंक्चुअल, and he comes every day. He works all hours. He does not waste time. He is a good one. He is honest. He is strong. He has capacity. He can work under pressure. He is smart. Likewise, we say one is smart, one works under pressure, one can do this and one can do that. We always say that. That means it is your character, and it's not only your character, it's your quality. Or you can say quality constitutes character and character constitutes quality. Just like somebody says, oh, this politician is having good character, or this politician is a robber. People say like that. Yes, that's quality. If I am serious and I work sincerely, people shall look me from that aspect. If I say no, I want to take tea and rest 3 or 4 hours in a day, and then I work only for 4 hours because my job is that much, I am paid that much. That's different quality. But don't forget, your quality is for you, it's not for others. Yes, your quality can be used by others if your quality is reliable, and that reliability is very important in life. And I always say that quality ranges in elaborations depending on indicative descriptions, and there exists no unlimited scope of quality criteria to be carried out. हर एक स्केल में आप कितने खरे उतरते हैं ये आपको देखना है. लेकिन एक बात सच है कि क्वालिटी नहीं, गुणवत्ता नहीं तो फ्यूचर भी नहीं. विदाउट क्वालिटी देयर एग्जिस्ट नो फ्यूचर. Again and again I would say same thing. It is engineer who is father of quality, who is also, responsible for quality. It is its engineer's work, whatever work it does. Does it amount to quality or amounts to nothing? If you don't care for quality, you do nothing. You are not engineer. I would simply say, if somebody minds it, mind it, no issue. अगर आप क्वालिटी नहीं चलाते, गुणवत्ता नहीं चलाते, तो आप इंजीनियर कहिए ही नहीं अपने आप को। होंगे आप बहुत बड़े इंजीनियर, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, क्योंकि बड़े बड़े वैज्ञानिक भी एटम बम बनाते हैं, हाइड्रोजन बम बनाते हैं, उनको अच्छा कहेंगे आप? खुश हो सकते हैं आप थोड़ी देर के लिए कि देखिए हमारे साइंटिस्ट ने इतना बड़ा बम बना दिया मारने के लिए दुनिया को। उसे आप क्या कहेंगे? साइंटिस्ट कहेंगे या उसको राक्षस कहेंगे? आप सोचिए, जो भी दुनिया में दुर्घटनाएं करने के लिए, दुनिया को नाश करने के लिए काम करता है, वो वैज्ञानिक नहीं हो सकता। होगा बाई टाइटल, होगा बाई क्वालिफिकेशन, लेकिन उसको हम वैज्ञानिक नहीं कह सकते, भगवान का प्रतिनिधि नहीं कह सकते, उसको राक्षस ही कहा जाएगा। बेशक आप उसको प्राइज़ दें, आप उसको अपने सर पे बिठाएं, क्योंकि उसने काम किया है बॉम्ब बनाने का, लेकिन काम तो उसने मानवता के खिलाफ किया है, तो उसकी क्वालिटी नेगेटिव है। वही काम वो अगर करता बिजली बनाने के लिए, कुछ और सेवा करने के लिए दुनिया की, जिससे आगे बढ़े दुनिया, तो उसको वैज्ञानिक कहते। इसी तरह से अभियंता वही है जो क्वालिटी से काम कराए, जो ना कराए वो अभियंता हो ही नहीं सकता। वो भी एक राक्षस ही है, जो कि भगवान के दिए मेटल को सत्यानाश कर रहा है। वो राक्षस नहीं तो क्या है? गंदा विकास होगा चोरों द्वारा, डकैतों द्वारा। क्या अभियंता ऐसा करेंगे? आप खुद सोचिए। सबको एक दिन ये दुनिया छोड़ के जाना है, कोई यहाँ परमानेंट नहीं है। एवरीबडी हैज़ टू लिव फॉर गुड, एंड हु वांट कम बैक, वी कैनॉट कम बैक। इसीलिए आपको क्वालिटी के विरुद्ध जाके, अच्छे काम के विरुद्ध जाके, गलत लोगों के हाथ में डांस करके, उनका खिलौना बन के क्या मिलने वाला है आपको सोचना है। आप इतना भी नहीं सोच सकते तो आपका होना या ना होना इस विश्व में बेकार है। आप उन लोगों के बारे में तो सोचते हैं जो इस दुनिया में चोरी कर रहे हैं, अपने परिवार को चोरी का सामान ला के आप दे रहे हैं। आप उसके बारे में नहीं सोचते जिसने ये दुनिया बनाई। क्या आप बना सकते हैं? मेरा प्रश्न बार बार रहेगा। वी कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग what God has done. We are very small people. We may be engineers, we may be doctors, but we are very small. Because that is very, very small work in nature. We have been given opportunity to develop this world, this universe. We have been given opportunity. And this opportunity stands with everybody. And with engineers and doctors, this is higher level of responsibility, because doctors and engineers are number one professionals in the universe. There is no meaning if doctors and engineers are not available. If there is no engineer, if there is no doctor, for you imagine what sort of world it would be. Shall it be human world, or people shall have to face all health issues, and they shall wait for where is development. It's not tongue, it's not talk. Science is based on analysis, medical is based on medical analysis. These people must have high level of mind. They have mind because they are educated. But if they don't use their minds, so this is fault of their own. Generally, all yes, money is an objective to certain extent, but it is not that objective that you sell yourself to achieve that objective. Majority of professionals are behind money, like majority of business people, commerce people are behind money. They can go to any extent to do this work. But how many percent people are behind quality? I have no statistics, but I know hardly 2 to 5% may be thinking of quality, but because people don't listen to them, people don't value them, they do not care for that. Very important point. There is no excuse that is admissible for quality failure. Again, I say quality is a must, must. Engineers, you have to understand this. You may consider this differently, that what is happening these days, because we have lost honesty. Whatever is happening around world, in terms of pandemics or in terms of whatever, in terms of pollution, in terms of, you can say, it is all our creations. Everybody is responsible for this, every responsible person. You cannot just take off from here and go away. Everybody is responsible for such type of environment, such type of development that's happening in nature as well as in humanity. We have to be very responsible, and we must be. And of course, engineers must realize quality facts, and in particular, civil engineers have to change quality aspects of society, or else quality cannot exist. Every day I say same thing, and I would be keeping saying same thing. No matter where you stand, no matter what position you have, no matter in which institution you are, no matter in which organization you are, matter is that you are an engineer. If you do not think you are an engineer, then why do you go to study engineering? Don't go, don't waste time. Go to loot some bank, go to do some crime because you are behind money. Why to spoil people? Means engineers should feel shame of corruption, that they corrupt. They are corrupted people. Many percent of engineers are corrupted. And engineer is not alone. Engineer is linked to others. If engineer is corrupt, then contractor is corrupt. If contractor is corrupt, then vendors are corrupt. If vendors are corrupt, then everything is corrupt. Their employees are corrupt. It's a chain, it's a series. Engineer is a leader, engineer is not a follower. But how many engineers how many engineers consider they are leaders? Just by speaking, you are not leader. Just by undergoing some oath doesn't mean you are a good person. If I take oath, I will serve people with honesty, with sincerity, without caste and creed. And if I don't do that, then what's meaning of that solemnity? There is no meaning. This means I cheat myself. I cheat myself in the name of universe, in the name of God, and I cheat myself by swearing in. It's cheating. So we have to think in different way. Unfortunately, whole world has spoiled itself. I can't control alone. It is everyone who is responsible. A kind of team throughout world. But again, I would say it's not appreciation issue. It is real issue that civil engineers are starters. They are starter of tree. They are, you can say, educated in root understanding. They know what is root of a tree. They know what is root of a structure, and they design it, they do it. But even then, it is no uniformity. Well, you can say that all this depend on what work we do. My inclination is that we have to control ourselves in every aspect. I shared with you certain contract conditions which were used long back. It is a format of general conditions of contract which was used in 2007. I don't know which one is there, but It was quite descriptive, and I worked on this in the state of Qatar. This is 2007, now 14 years back. But in such conditions, there are very contract forms, and of course some amendments are done, standardizations are done, but body and contents generally remain same. Nothing changes, and we can say we are talking of certain plants, and you can say liability for loss or injury of plant. So this is a condition, irremovability of certain plant. So we can say that hired plant we are talking of certificates as to hiring provision. Okay, hire purchase payment we talked. Irremovability of, let us say, what is irremovability of certain plant? It says that no construction plant, temporary works or materials or any part thereof shall be removed from site without written consent of engineer, which consent shall not unreasonably be withheld, where same is no longer immediately required for purpose of completion of works. But owner shall permit contractor exclusive use of all such construction plant, temporary works and materials in and for completion of works until occurrence of whatever event which gives owner right to exclude contractor from site and proceed with completion of works. We studied this revesting, removal and failure. Removal of whatever such constructional plant, temporary works or materials as deemed to become property of owner under subclause of this clause, with consent as aforesaid, property therein shall revest in contractor, and upon completion of works, property in remainder of such constructional plant, temporary works and materials as aforesaid shall be subject to provision of clause this one, whereof revest in contractor, who shall remove same together with essential hired plant and hire purchase plant. If contractor fails to remove whatever construction plant, temporary works or materials as aforesaid, or whatever essential hired plant or hire purchase plant, within such reasonable time after completion and materials, we have gone through this, then return at contractor's expense to person, firm or company from whom any or whatever essential hired plant or hire purchase plant was held by contractor, such essential hire plant or hire purchase plant, and after deducting from whatever proceeds of sale, costs, charges and expenses of what in connection with such sale and in connection with return as aforesaid, shall pay balance to contractor, but to extent that proceeds of whatever sale are insufficient to meet all such cost, charges and expenses, access shall be adapt due from contractor to PWA or owner. Now, its liability for loss or injury to plant. Owner shall not, when I say PWA, it's actually I'm considering owner. So don't worry about PWA, public works authority it is, but I'm not inclined to state that. This is owner. Owner shall not at any time be liable for loss or injury to any of construction plant, temporary works or materials which have of clauses in subcontract. In subcontracts, so you know what is subcontract. Main contractor cannot do something. It involves another party. You can say junior to main contractor. That is called subcontract. And contractor shall, when entering into whatever subcontract for execution of whatever part of works, incorporate in such subcontract provisions of this clause in relation to constructional plant, temporary works and materials, essential hired plants and hired purchase plant brought into stage 5. आप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं, आप किसी को सब पार्टी को किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को हायर कर रहे हैं, तो वो आपको इसमें एग्जिबिट करना पड़ेगा अपने सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में ये क्लॉज. Contractor shall, when entering into whatever subcontract for execution of whatever part of works incorporated in such subcontract, वो subcontract जो आप उस वेंडर के साथ कर रहे हैं, तो कंस्ट्रक्शनल प्लान जो भी प्लान आप से लेंगे, टेम्पररी वर्क आप लेंगे, बैठेल आप लेंगे, एसेंशियल हायर प्लांट लेंगे, implied means materials के बारे में operation of this clause we just discussed hereof shall not be deemed to imply whatever approval of engineer of materials or other matters referred to therein, nor shall it prevent rejection of whatever such materials any time by engineer. अप्रूवल करानी है मटेरियल्स की, उसका मतलब क्या है? अप्रूवल तो जरूरी होती है, सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के मटेरियल्स भी करानी होती है. यू हैव टू गेट डन एवरीथिंग, दैट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ प्रोसेस. उसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि इंजीनियर ने अप्रूव कर दिया मटेरियल को या दूसरे मैटर्स को, बातों को, ना ही उसको बचाएगा उसको रिजेक्ट करने से. अगर वो मटेरियल को रिजेक्ट करता है इंजीनियर तो कर सकता है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि सब अप्रूव्ड है. जिम्मेदारी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की होती है, याद रख लीजिए. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रेस्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, बिकॉज इंजीनियर्स अप्रूवल और रिजेक्शन is to some extent okay, but even if engineer approves, this means quantity is measured. Of course, quality is automatically measured if that item is approved, if that item is acceptable. So we are talking of quantities, and quantities means work quantities. It may be in cubic meter, it can be in square meter, it can be in meter, it can be in numbers, or it can be in item also. Sometimes we take in BOQ lump sum item, we don't define whatever unit, but we describe item and say, okay, this item on whole of this project is this amount, and we don't consider unit. We say, okay, lump sum it is. Quantities except as provided for whatever clause above and below. Hereof, quantities set out in bill of quantities, that is BOQ, are to be taken to be actual and correct one of works to be executed by contractor in fulfillment of its obligations under contract. Whatever error in or omission from bill of quantities shall not in any way vitiate or invalidate contract, nor be grounds for adjustment of contract price. साफ साफ कह रहे हैं कि जो भी बिल ऑफ क्वांटिटी है उसमें जो भी अमाउंट लिखा है, जो भी यूनिट लिखा है, जो भी क्वांटिटी लिखी है, उसमें कोई भी गलती है, कोई भी मिस हो गया, ऑमिट हो गया, नहीं लिया गया, उस एरर से, उस गलती से आपका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट प्राइस अफेक्ट नहीं होगा. क्वांटिटी ज़्यादा आए, क्वांटिटी कम आए, या क्वांटिटी वही हो जो उसमें दी गई है, इन बातों से लंप सम फिक्स प्राइस में कोई लेना देना नहीं है. Because it is lump sum fixed price, whatever discrepancy in bill of quantity and in actual quantity exists, whatever other items discrepancies exist, whatever relevance to bill of quantity and work drawings and discrepancies exist, contract shall not be impacted upon, contract price shall not be impacted upon, because bill of quantity is just a guide. You can do your own bill of quantity in such situations. Under such contracts, no one is going to ask you any question. Therefore, while you do lump sum contracts, fixed price contract, it is person who is going to take that work responsibility that you check every quantity, and there is no role of engineer or employer that they should be responsible towards correctness of these quantities. This is very clear. So you can say even if you measure that, it doesn't mean there can be measurement before contract is entered, before bid documents are prepared, and that is work out for purpose of just to know quantity of work, quantum of work, but it is a responsibility. If contractor does not work, if suppose engineer does work itself, then it is responsibility of engineer itself to make sure that quantities, because you have to order quantity, you have to purchase quantity, to purchase material, you have to place order, and you cannot place order just based on this bill of quantities. There may be many bill of quantities on projects. Every individual unit can be different bill of quantity. I have seen many bills, in some cases 25, 30, 40 bills of quantities. Therefore, it is a responsibility of person who is going to take that share should check every detail, and that subject we call is quantity surveying or quantity engineering or takeoff, etc. You have to be very careful about that. हमारा काम है, हमें करें, हमें ये नहीं भूलना है ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं भी है, हम खुद कर रहे हैं, तब भी हमारी जिम्मेदारी तो है. अगर हम बिल ऑफ क्वांटिटी पे फुली डिपेंड करेंगे, उसी के बेस पे हम ऑर्डर कर देंगे मटेरियल, और मटेरियल गलत आ गया, ज़्यादा आ गया, तो उसका क्या करेंगे. इसीलिए वी हैव टू बी वेरी श्योर दैट वी हैव टू वर्क आउट क्वांटिटीज ऑफ एवरी आइटम, and even if that item does not exist in BOQ, but that item is shown in drawing, and that is a part of contract, we shall be held responsible for that. We have to procure that item and include on work permanently, and that is very important point. Quantity variation, item variation, or some other variation. Engineer shall ascertain by add measurements or other means for purpose of variations and interim payments only value in accordance with contract of work done or omitted as provided. Engineer shall, when it requires whatever parts of works to be measured, give notice to contractors, authorized agent or representative, who forthwith attend or send a qualified agent to assist engineer or engineer's representative in making such measurement and furnish all particulars required by either of them. अगर ऐसी कोई स्थिति आती है, ऐसी कोई बात आती है, या आपको इस बिल ऑफ क्वांटिटी के अलावा किसी वेरिएशन के पर्पस में, किसी दूसरी आइटम के पर्पस में जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में नहीं है, उसकी वैल्यूएशन कर रही हैं, तो उसके लिए मेजरमेंट करना पड़ेगा. जो भी काम हुआ है उस पर्पस के लिए, उस वेरिएशन की कॉस्ट निकालने के लिए, या जो भी पेमेंट करने के लिए जितना काम हुआ है, उसके लिए आप उस कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को नोटिस देंगे कि वो आए या अपने अपने प्रतिनिधि को भेजें हमारे साथ ये मेजरमेंट करने के लिए और उसको स्वीकार करने के लिए, हमें सहायता करने के लिए। और ये उसकी ड्यूटी बनती है और कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की ड्यूटी बनती है कि इस काम में कोऑपरेट करे, उसकी मेजरमेंट हो। भेजता है, should contractor not attend or neglect or omit to send such agent, in that case measurement made by engineer or approved by engineer shall be taken to be correct measurement of work। अगर आपने अपना एजेंट नहीं भेजा ठेकेदार जी इंजीनियर के पास, उसको कोऑपरेट नहीं किया मेजरमेंट लेने में, तो इंजीनियर अपने आप मेजरमेंट लेगा और उसको आपको मानना पड़ेगा। फॉर पर्पस ऑफ measuring such permanent work as is to be measured by records and drawings, engineer's representative shall prepare records and drawings month by month of such work, and contractor, when called upon to do so in writing, shall within 14 days attend to examine and agree such records and drawings with and if contractor does not so attend to examine and agree whatever such records, any such records and drawings, they shall be taken to be correct. If after examination of such records and drawings, contractor does not agree on it or does not sign same as agreed, they shall nevertheless be taken to be correct unless contractor within 14 days of such examination lodge with engineer's representative for decision by engineer notice in writing of respects in which such records and drawings are claimed by him to be incorrect। इंजीनियर के पास नहीं आता है ठेकेदार, इंजीनियर अपने आप मेजरमेंट लेता है, वो ले सकता है, लेता है और बता देता है कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को कि हमने मेजरमेंट ले ली है, आप एग्जामिन करना है तो कर लीजिए। और आप एग्जामिन कर लेते हैं और कुछ गलती निकालते हैं तो उसको आप नोटिस दे सकते हैं, ये ठीक कीजिए इसको। और आप नहीं नोटिस देते हैं तो पक्की बात है कि आपने इसको मान लिया है और आपको साइन करने होंगे, और आप साइन नहीं करते तो गलती। फाउंडेशन हम सब जानते हैं क्या होती है, वी ऑल नो व्हाट्स फाउंडेशन। फाउंडेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट आइटम इन इंजीनियरिंग, in every branch of engineering। Foundation means it's foundation means it's an element below ground. It's an element generally below ground which transmits all forces of structure from every point of view, that is dead load, live load, or whatever actions imposed on structure are passed on to soil below, or you can say earth below, through foundation। Generally foundation is included below ground or even below basements। In case of foundation works or where engineer considers it necessary, contractors before surface of whatever portion of ground is interfered with, work is put in hand in conjunction with engineer examination। Engineer examines site and plans and sections of work and takes such additional levels or other measurements as could be necessary and may be necessary, and agree as to surface levels, etc. with engineer। Such agreement shall be recorded in writing and signed by contractor and by engineer। Again I read, in case of foundation works or where engineer considers it necessary, contractor shall before surface of whatever portion of ground is interfered with or work is put in hand in conjunction with engineer examine site and plans and sections of work and take such additional labels or other measurements as may be necessary and agree as to surface levels with engineers. Such agreement shall be recorded in writing and signed by both contractor and engineer. साफ है फाउंडेशंस को किस तरह हैंडल किया जाएगा, उसके बारे में, मेजरमेंट्स के बारे में। तो ये ज़रूरी होता है रिकॉर्ड के लिए, क्योंकि फाउंडेशन छुप जानी है, उसको हम दोबारा देख नहीं पाएंगे। हिडन आइटम कह सकते हैं, छुपी हुई आइटम है, और उसके रिकॉर्ड करके, साइन करके रिकॉर्ड कर देना अच्छा होता है, झगड़ा ना हो बात। पैमाइश बहुत तरीके होते हैं। बिल्स ऑफ क्वांटिटीज हैव बीन प्रिपेयर्ड बाय ऑनर और एजेंट इन अकॉर्डेंस विद स्टैंडर्ड मेथड ऑफ मेजरमेंट्स। जो भी मेजरमेंट के मेथड हैं उसके द्वारा हम मेजरमेंट करते हैं। स्टैंडर्ड मेथड ऑफ मेजरमेंट जनरली यूज्ड फॉर वर्क्स which shall consist of following: standard method of measurement of building works, method of measurement of civil engineering works, method of measurements for roads and bridges work, etc., etc. You may add whatever you can say. And there is a reference here that standard method of measurements for building works dated 28th February 1973. So this is long back, but there may be updates on that, issued by Ministry of Public Works, State of etc. Same way, method of measurements of civil engineering works, and there's another paper on this, and that can be used. Devise their own ways. That's very ordinary issue. Now we come on to day work. I have discussed this a lot. What is day work? You know what is day work. I don't need any more explanation on that, but I'll just read what is here. It says that in respect of all day work, contractor shall furnish to engineer such receipts, furnish to engineer such receipts or other vouchers as may be necessary to prove amounts paid, and before ordering materials shall submit to engineer quotations for same for its approvals. Furnish, what it says in Devar case, in that respect, contractor furnishes to engineer receipts or other vouchers or bills as may be necessary to prove amounts paid, and before ordering materials submit to engineer quotations for same for approval. During continuance of such work, deliver each day to engineer's representative an exact list in duplicate of names, occupation, and time of all workmen employed on such work, and a statement also in duplicate showing other than client which is included in percentage addition in accordance with schedule herein. Before referred to, one copy of each list and statement shall, if correct or when agreed, be signed by engineer's representative and returned to contractor. At end of each month, contractor shall deliver to engineer's representative a price statement of workers, materials, and plant used in this item. डे वर्क हम जानते हैं क्या होता है। जब कोई आइटम नहीं होती हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में, बिल में क्वांटिटी नहीं होती, उसकी कोई डिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं है कहीं भी उस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के डॉक्यूमेंट्स में, लेकिन छोटा मोटा काम होता है, वो ज़रूरी है करने के लिए, हम उसके ऊपर कोई आइटम नहीं है हमारे पास, उसकी काम भी ज़रूरी करना है, करने के बाद उसकी पेमेंट भी होनी चाहिए। ऐसे केस में जब कोई स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन नहीं की है तो हमारे पास जैसा हमारी आइटम्स हर आइटम में होता है, एवरी आइटम वी से व्हाट इज़ अमाउंट, व्हाट इज़ क्वांटिटी ऑफ वर्कर्स और वर्क फोर्स और इट्स मैन वर्क आवर्स, व्हाट इज़ quantity of material used and how many hours machine used, how many workers used. That's what we consider And we must have rates. If rates are not included in our contract, then we can adopt rates. For materials, we can invite quotations, and for you can also invite quotations for machines working hours. And of course, you have your records for what payment you are making to your workers. All these records can be referred to whatever such item. And this resolution that you can go in a way, you can go for doing this job on day work basis. And this is day work means you have to record every expense. Every expense is to be recorded in writing. How much material is used, how many hours machine, whichever machine used, and how many workers used per day, including supervisors, you can say. And these are submitted to engineer because engineer's representative always works on site. That representative knows, contractor knows what expenses we are spending on this, or making on this, and those daily records actually is called day work. That is day work record, and that every day should be submitted, and it is submitted. And its clubbing can be done later on, month basis or weekly basis, or whatever you agree with that. So that should be on record. Both parties have to sign that, and then confirmation is also issued that it's approved. Then पेमेंट ऑफ डे वर्क, कैसे उसको पे किया जाए, भुगतान किया जाए उसका. Contractor shall not be entitled to any payment unless all lists and statements referred to above shall here have been fully and punctually rendered. Provided always, if engineer considers that for whatever reason, sending of such list or statement by contractor in accordance with foregoing provisions was impracticable, shall nevertheless be entitled to authorize payment for such work, either as day work on being satisfied as to time employed and plant and materials used on such work, or at such value therefore as shall in its opinion be fair and reasonable. पेमेंट तो करनी पड़ेगी क्योंकि आपने काम कराया है डे वर्क पे, कोई रास्ता नहीं था आपके पास. फिर भी गलत पेमेंट तो नहीं हो सकती. Contractor shall not be entitled to any payment unless all list and statements referred to. सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स होने चाहिए, लिस्ट होनी चाहिए, स्टेटमेंट होने चाहिए, प्रूव करने के लिए कि इतना काम हुआ है, इस कॉस्ट पे हुआ है. और किसी भी कारण से अगर भेजना इस लिस्ट का ऊपर वाले तरीके के हिसाब से पॉसिबल नहीं है, मान लीजिए किसी भी कारण से ऐसा नहीं हो पाया लेकिन काम हुआ है, फिर भी पेमेंट तो आपको करनी पड़ेगी. वो आप फिर असेसमेंट से करें, कैसे करें, किस तरह से करें, कितना लोग एम्प्लॉय हुआ है, कितना वर्कर्स, कितना मशीन लगा है, कितना मटेरियल यूज़ हुआ है, आप उसकी अपना ओपिनियन दे सकते हैं. इंजीनियर साहब अपने हिसाब से कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं और पेमेंट की जा सकती है. हमेशा यूज़ नहीं होते. वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल. देयर आर हंड्रेड्स ऑफ क्लॉजेस इन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंड these clauses are not implemented in one day because contract is always very long, duration of contract is very long, and it is good that we have to understand this point. एक सम होता है प्रोविजनल सम और प्राइम कॉस्ट सम. जनरली ऐसा दिया जाता है, इट्स डन, बट there is purpose, there's a purpose for that. And what's that? Every provisional sum, what is meaning of provision? Means प्रावधान है. उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि ऐसा होगा, ऐसा हो सकता है. जनरली एक्ट्स में प्रोविजंस होते हैं. ये एक्चुअली सारे वट एवर क्लॉजेस वी आर टॉकिंग, these are provisions. Similarly, we can say we provide some sum, that is provisional sum, or prime cost is another one, another definition. So every provisional sum other than prime cost, these prices under subclause, including sums arrived at by extending provisional quantities at tender rates set out in bills of quantities, or whether for work to be executed by contractor which has not been specified in detail when contract is entered into, or for work to be executed by nominated subcontractor as hereinafter defined, together with charges and profits which contractor shall have added quantities. Whether for work to be executed by contractor which has not been specified in detail when contract is entered into, or for work to be executed by nominated subcontractor as hereinafter defined, together with charges and profits which contractor shall have added to such sums shall be deducted from contract price, and in lieu thereof has been ordered by engineer and executed by contractor, value of work so executed valued in accordance with clause. Where work to which provisional sum relates has been ordered by engineer and executed by a nominated subcontractor, sum or sums actually paid by contractor to such subcontractor on direction of engineer, a sum in same proportion to sums actually paid, a sum in same proportion to sum actually paid in bill of quantities which contains a prime cost sum. Prime cost sum, price for goods or materials to be supplied for or for incorporation into works shall be varied by substitution for prime cost price of actual price, subject however to provisions of subclause. Okay, paid by contractor for goods or materials on direction of engineer, and contract price shall be increased or decreased. Contract price shall be increased or decreased as case may be, by amount by which sum in bill of quantities is increased or decreased by such substitution. No variation shall be made to or in respect of whatever sum or any sum added for workers to prime cost price on account of said actual price, being greater or less than prime cost price, but in respect of all other charges and profit there shall be added or deducted as case may be, a sum representing such percentage as is provided in bills of quantities in relation to particular item of prime cost concerned, as is inserted by contractor in form of tender. Every sum in bills of quantities contains prime cost price for goods or materials to be supplied for or for incorporation into works shall be varied by substitution for prime cost price of actual price paid by contractor for goods or materials on direction of engineer, and contract price shall be increased or decreased as case may be, by amount by which sum in bill of quantities is increased or decreased by such substitution. No variation shall be made to or in respect of whatever sum added or workers to be the prime sum cost price on account of said actual price being greater or less than prime cost price. But in respect of all other charges and paid profit that shall be added or deducted as case may be, a sum representing such percentage stated to be provisional or for contingency shall be used only at direction and discretion of engineer, and if not used either wholly or in part shall as to amount not used be deducted from contract price. Production of vouchers. See what it said, in case this sum is not used, that's provisional sum, then we have to take out that from contract price. Again I say all sums set out in bill of quantities which be stated to be provisional or for contingencies. You know meaning of contingencies. Shall be used only at direction and discretion of engineer, and if not used either wholly or in part as to amount not used be deducted from contract price. Production of vouchers. Contractor shall, when required by engineer, produce all quotations, invoices, vouchers and accounts or receipts in connection with expenditure in respect of provisional or prime cost. In so far as whatever sum is paid by contractor to a nominated subcontractor by direction of engineer, under this clause before contractor shall have received payment of that sum from employer, there shall for purpose of adjusting contract price under this one be added to actual sum paid by contractor as a % of amount of such actual payment and benefit of whatever cash discount allowed in respect thereof. Assignment of subcontractor's obligation. In event of nominated subcontractors having undertaken towards contractor in respect of work executed or goods or materials supplied by such nominated subcontractor, whatever continuing obligation extending for a period exceeding that of period of maintenance under this contractor shall at whatever time after expiration of period of maintenance assign to owner at owner's request and cost benefit of such obligation for unexpired duration thereof. Again I say, in event of nominated subcontractor having undertaken towards you can say contractor in respect of work executed or goods or materials supplied by such nominated subcontractor, whatever continuing obligation extending for a period exceeding that of period of maintenance under this contract shall at whatever time after expiration of period of maintenance assign to owner at owner's request and cost benefit of such obligation maybe it's something one never got experience of, but these are parts of contract and we should interestingly learn all these This is a kind of hidden mathematics, you can say. Hidden engineering, you can say, contract engineering. We should be smart enough to realize it, because without it, you are not going to give any result. All specialists, merchants, trades, workers, other executing whatever work or supplying whatever goods for which provisional or prime cost sums are included in bill of quantities, who may have been or be nominated or selected or approved by owner or engineer, and all persons to whom, by virtue of provisions of bill of quantities or specification, contractor is required to sublet whatever work in execution of such work or supply of such goods be deemed to be subcontractor employed by contractor, and are hereinafter referred to as nominated subcontractors, provided always that contractors shall not be required by owner or engineers or be deemed to be under whatever obligations, any obligation to employ any nominated subcontractor, who shall decline to enter into a subcontract with contractor of work or goods subject of subcontract. Nominated subcontractors shall undertake towards contractor like obligations and liabilities as are imposed upon contractor towards client or towards owner by terms and conditions contract, by terms of contract, and save harmless and indemnify contractor from and against same, and from all claims, demands, proceedings, damages, costs, charges, and expenses whatsoever arising out of or in connection therewith, or arising out of or in connection with any failure to perform such obligations or to fulfill such liabilities. Indemnify contractor from and against any negligence by nominated subcontractor, and from and against whatever misuse by or temporary works provided by contractor for purpose of contract, and from all claims as aforesaid. Payment to nominated subcontractors. Before issuing under clause hereof whatever certificate, which includes whatever payment in respect of work done or goods supplied by whatever nominated subcontractor, engineer shall be entitled to demand from contractor reasonable proof that all payments less extension, of course. Retention means you have to retain from that also, so less. To that or goods of such nominated subcontractor have been paid or discharged by contractor in default whereof, unless it has reasonable cause for withholding or refusing to make such payment, produce to engineer reasonable proof that it has so informed such nominated subcontractor in writing. To such nominated subcontractor, and to deduct by way of set off amount so paid by honor from whatever sums due or which become due from honor to contractor, provided always that where engineer has certified and honor has paid direct as aforesaid, engineer shall in issuing whatever further certificate in favor of contractor deduct from that thereof amount thereof you can say the amount so paid direct as aforesaid, but shall not withhold or delay issue of certificate itself when due to be issued under terms of contract. You can say as we said, with this says, provide always that when engineer has certified and honor has paid direct as aforesaid engineer shall in issuing whatever further certificate in favor of contractor deduct from amount thereof amount so paid direct as aforesaid, but shall not withhold or delay issue of certificate itself. You know very well, but talking of certificates of payments, and so interesting, of course, that signals again problems. Video 0, audio 0, still 0. I am sure that it's going to leave soon. Again, some signals have come, but FPS is 2, so it shall not work. Now FPS are higher, and of course signals are good. Let us see it works. Contractor, I'm talking about monthly statement, and of course a statement of works, you can say, for purpose of payment. Contractor shall submit to engineer at end of each month a statement in form you can say approved by engineer, showing amounts to which contractor may consider itself entitled up to end of month in respect of estimated value in accordance with contract of permanent works executed on site and forming part of work. Other one is estimated value in accordance with contract of whatever material on site for payment for permanent work supplied by contractor but not yet incorporated in permanent work. And of course, payment on account of such items of bill within bill of quantities not included in above. Whatever other sums or charges to which contractor may consider itself entitled under terms of contract. Monthly payment. Monthly payment. Engineer shall, after examining each such monthly statement, engineer shall, after examining each some monthly statement, issue an interim certificate to honor with a